Have you ever felt more drained than energized because of your career? I've been there, and today I'm sharing 5 mindful strategies that have helped me overcome burnout and reintegrate well-being with work. Think of these not as quick fixes, but gentle approaches to help you find your path to career well-being. I'm Kritika, and I'm a big tech global sales and marketing leader and a professional coach. Welcome to my channel, Realign, where we explore practical tips and strategies to find alignment of our personal values with our professional best. In my decade of working in global partnerships and marketing, I've witnessed firsthand how the pressure to perform can lead to burnout. Burnout is a state where we feel emotionally exhausted, detached from our work, and questioning our professional abilities, sometimes even our purpose. But here's the thing, burnout isn't a personal failure. It's often a sign that something in our work-life ecosystem needs attention. So today we're going to explore 5 mindful strategies that have helped me navigate burnout as a yoga, meditation, and mindfulness teacher and practitioner for over 20 years. The first strategy is what I call the mindful pause technique. This practice is about creating small intentional breaks throughout your workday to check in with yourself. There are many ways that this can be done, but here's one way. Set a reminder on your phone or your computer to pause, let's say every 90 minutes. When the reminder goes off, stop what you're doing and simply take 3 deep breaths. Ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? And what do I need in this moment? Once you reach that sense of awareness, that's half the job done, really. In fact, to be mindful is to be aware and to be present. Based on your answer of how you're feeling and what you need in this moment, take a small action. It could be stretching, getting a glass of water, or simply looking out of the window for a minute. I remember when I first started this practice, I was surprised at how disconnected I'd become from my own needs during the workday. By introducing these mindful pauses, I started noticing patterns in my energy levels and in what triggers my stress. This awareness became the foundation for making more aligned choices in my work. The second strategy is values-based decision-making. When we're burnt out, we often feel like we're living on autopilot, like we're disconnected from what truly matters to us. So try this exercise. Take a few minutes to write down your top 5 personal values. These could be things like creativity, connection, growth, or balance. There are many different tools and techniques to help map out and identify your values. And an interesting thing to note here is that you don't actually select your values, you discover them. Once you've identified no more than 5 values, look at your calendar for the upcoming week. And for each commitment, ask yourself, does this align with my values? How can I bring more of my values into the task? When I first did this, I realized that many of my commitments weren't aligned with my core values. It took me years to realize that not every part of my life needs to align with my values though. For example, I could feel more fulfillment of values A to C in my day job, but values D and E in my personal time. Once I understood this, it wasn't about dramatically changing everything overnight, but it was about making small shifts. Maybe for you whose key values are creativity and leadership, it is about accepting and being happy with your creativity being fulfilled in your hobby as a painter, and your leadership being fulfilled in your day job as a manager in your organization. And what's more, you can also now make decisions based on your own values. For example, finding ways to bring more creativity into a routine task or applying leadership principles into your painting, maybe changing it to a side hustle. The third strategy is the energy audit. This is about becoming aware of what energizes you and what drains you at work. And here's a simple way to do it. For a week, keep a small notebook with you, or if that's tough, even just a mental diary through your phone's notes app. After each task or interaction at work, quickly jot down whether it energized you or drained you. And at the end of the week, review your notes and look for patterns. When I did this, I was surprised to find that some tasks that I thought I disliked were actually quite energizing when done in the right context. For example, I always felt like data analysis drained me. But after this exercise, I discovered that I actually quite enjoyed analyzing data and generating insights, but only when I did this in the morning and when I capped it to 45 minutes. Now, I understand that you may not be able to control how and when you do certain tasks, but use these insights to restructure your day whenever that is possible. Can you batch together energy-draining tasks? Can you schedule energizing activities for when you typically feel a slump in the day or the week? It's all about reclaiming control of your well-being little by little, which leads me to my next strategy. The fourth strategy is compassionate boundary setting. When we're burnt out, we often feel like we're at the mercy of others' demands. Setting boundaries is about reclaiming your time and your energy, but doing so with kindness, both to yourself and to others. So try this approach. Identify one area where you need to set a boundary. Maybe it's after work emails or unscheduled meetings. Craft a firm but kind response. So for example, I'd be happy to chat about this project, but this meeting falls during my lunch hour and I really need the break. How about 2 p.m. today or 3 p.m. on Wednesday instead? Practice delivering this response. And remember, it's not about building walls, it's about creating healthy spaces. When I started setting boundaries, I realized that my colleagues actually resonated quite well with it. And I found that when communicated with compassion, most people respected and even appreciated the clarity. The final strategy is purposeful reframing. This is about shifting our perspective on our work and its place in our lives. But here's how you can practice it. Take a step back and look at your role from a wider lens. Ask yourself, how does my work contribute to something larger than myself? Who benefits from what I do? Write down 3 ways that your work makes a positive difference, no matter how small they are. I remember feeling particularly burnt out during a challenging project once. And when I practiced this reframing, I started to appreciate the role that work played in my life. Sometimes work was fulfilling because it helped businesses thrive. And sometimes it was because it offered me the resources for the lifestyle that I set goals against when I was younger. This shift in perspective didn't make the work easier, but it did renew my sense of purpose. These 5 strategies are tools for you to experiment with. They're not about pushing harder or doing more, but they're about reconnecting with yourself and your work in a more mindful and aligned way. And remember, overcoming burnout is a journey. It's okay to take small steps and to have setbacks, but what matters is that you're actually taking steps to honor your well-being alongside your professional growth. Remember, you don't have to trade your health or happiness for a paycheck. Keep exploring, keep growing, and more importantly, be kind to yourself along the way. Until next time, this is Kritika from Realign, wishing you calm amidst the chaos and alignment in all that you do.